Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So today I have Confessions of a Bra Fit Specialist, and I have everything written down because otherwise I go back and forth in my story, and usually I'm like, before I tell you this, let me tell you this. So this keeps me a little bit more organized. And I did drink a little bit of coffee, so I'm talking super fast. So the first thing that I have is that this was an in-between job. I was working at a spa, and my friend that was working at the front desk, she was working at Soma, which is a bra store. They also have panties. I think that's pretty much it. Well, yeah, actually some clothes as well. But anyway, she was working there. She was working both jobs, so I knew of the store, but I had never been in the store. In the mall, I would always just like walk past it, and it just never occurred to me to go in there. I'd always gone to Victoria's Secret. It was just like my go-to since like always. So yeah, I just didn't really think about it. But anyway, so that was like my sort of connection with it. Otherwise, I didn't really think about it much, and I had never really gone in there. I was trying to leave, or not trying, I was thinking about leaving the spa at the time because it was just so slow, like, or I had appointments, but the appointment, there was like such a huge gap in between appointments sometimes, and I had to wait in my little room, my esthetician room, usually by myself, obviously, because everybody else was a hairdresser and they were like out on the floor. And I had it was like dim lights, and it actually sounds really nice because I was getting paid for this. Like I could even take a nap if I wanted to. But I really, really enjoy connections with people. I like hearing people's stories. I like knowing how I can help, and it was just giving me a lot of isolation. I read a lot of books while I was there, but it was just, I don't know, I just really wanted to get out. And it got to a point that I was telling my friend I just need to go, even if, you know, they're paying me to just literally sit there sometimes in between appointments. Like there was stuff to do, but once that stuff was done, there was still this like huge thing of time. So I decided to leave without really knowing what I was going to do next. I wanted to do makeup. I was thinking about, I don't know, either MAC or Sephora, one of the two. But my friend was like, well, we're actually looking for a person at Soma. If you want to go there while you look for a job, why not? So I was like, sure. So I went, and she introduced me to her boss, and everybody seemed so nice. And then they asked me to come back for an interview. And what else do I have here? So I got the job, obviously, and I had to learn every single style of bra that they have. So I had a lot of studying to do, and also how to fit someone properly, to know what size they were and how to find a great match for them, and also hear their concerns to know what was going to be a good match. But anyway, I really liked that part because I love hearing people, like I mentioned, their stories and how to help them feel most confident. Is kind of like all of my jobs have that in common that I have had. And but right before I went for the interview, my friend actually said, why don't you come in and I'm going to do a fitting for you. The bra that you're wearing is actually not the correct size. And I was like, well, how do you know? Like over my shirt, like how could she tell so fast? And I was like, I mean, it feels comfortable. Like, how do you know it's the wrong size? And she was like, it just is. Just trust me. Come with me. This is before I went for the interview. And so I went, and she put me in the dressing room. She went and got a bunch of different bras, and she was asking me, you know, what I like and stuff like that, but also just kind of like what she recommended for me. So she measured me and then went to go get a size. I was super surprised because the size that I was wearing was, I don't know, like 3 cup sizes too small for what she measured me, and I was super surprised about that. But when I tried, well, all of them were amazing, but when I tried this one particular style, let me tell you, I had never in my life felt that comfortable. I don't even know how to explain it, but first of all, I was like, this is what it's supposed to feel like. Oh my God, what have I been doing this entire time that I've been wearing bras? Like, what in the world? My back wasn't hurting, first of all. Second of all, it was beautiful. The style of it is it's kind of like a see-through mesh material in the front, in the cups, and with like embroidery. But the fit, I just can't get over it. It was like by far one of my favorites. All of the girls that work there told me what their favorites were and stuff like that, but I love it that they have one for every single concern. And yeah, this almost sounds like I wish this was sponsored because I love it so much, but it's not. But anyway, everybody told me what they loved, and because everybody has different concerns. So for example, they have one that it's like a smooth, like the back is like super, I forget the material, but it's like a smooth, I don't know, back, so that when you wear your shirts, everything is super smooth in the back, and there's no like rolls, or like your bra doesn't like, it's not like super tight, as some of them can be like that. But some people have a concern with that, so they just want like their back super smooth, and there is a particular bra for that. There's also minimizers, and that's also another really big favorite of mine, because I always wanted to feel comfortable, confident, and just I was wearing just the wrong type and size of bra. Push-ups were not a good option for me because they just made me feel really uncomfortable. So I like minimizers, and they actually minimize, I think they had two. I am not, don't quote me on this, but they had like a 1 inch and maybe a 2 to 3 inch minimizers. So that's really, really great. The reason why I like that black one that I was talking about was because it was almost as a minimizer. It wasn't marketed as that, but that's kind of how that's kind of how it fit. So for fuller breasts, minimizers are really great so that you can feel comfortable and confident. And this is the thing that, like, I just never knew there were so many different styles for different looks, I guess. So for example, like if you go to work and you usually wear a button up, I never like button ups because the button, like the first button and the second button, it always like opens up in a, like, as much as I like pull on my shirt to have it go straight, like somewhere along the lines of the day it like pulls open. With the minimizer, it just was a really great fit because you know, you don't have to keep pulling your shirt down like I did, and that can be really uncomfortable. And if you're constantly thinking and being like self-conscious of like, oh no, my shirt's gonna, like, my button's gonna pop open, or it's like open and you can see everything, and I'm not even aware of it if I'm not thinking about it, and other people might, and it's just like, so then I just would never wear button-ups. That was just, you know, it wasn't comfortable. But if I had known that there was a specific bra style for that shirt, I would have, you know, worn more. There was also a lot of things that I learned, other than styles, different colors that work best under certain shirts. Like for example, what is it called? Oh my gosh, I'm blanking right now on the specific color name, but it's basically almost like a little like maroon, brown type of color. That actually looks really, really great under a white shirt because you can't really see the color. It just, I don't know, it just works. But yeah, anyway, back to my story. She took me to get measured, and she brought me shirts with the bras to see how they fit and how like the shirt would fall on different types, and just I was just like in awe, but mostly because I felt so good. Like I never knew that your back didn't actually have to hurt, and it sounds crazy, but it just I was so used to it. That was just what it felt like for me, that it took me wearing or getting fitted with a different bra to be like, oh my gosh, this is what you're supposed to feel like. My back was always in constant pain, but it was because of lack of support. The ones that I was wearing did not have any support at all. And also another really cool thing about this place was the quality. Like I started looking at the quality of the different types of bras. Like before I didn't really care about that, but I would just go buy a new one or whatever, and like just was always pulling and tugging everywhere. But once I got to feel the fabric, the style, and learn how to wash them, even I didn't really know how to like keep them in really great shape, especially if you were going to invest in a more pricey bra. But all of the bras there are around about $56 on average. It depends. The quality is amazing, and they have like little mesh bags there, or you can get them anywhere else where you put your bras in there to wash them, and it keeps them like looking perfect and lasting a long time. What else did I learn there? Oh, so many different stories about the people that I met, that I don't know, just like, for example, from a new mom who is a completely different size, which I can totally understand right now because I'm breastfeeding and everything just shifts and changes. And like a mom would walk in, and she to me was just so beautiful, and she, you know, like she looked really great. I'm thinking of this one specifically, but she just felt so uncomfortable and so not confident, so like wanting to hide, almost trying to make herself small so that she wasn't seen, if that makes any sense. But like hearing her concerns, and then matching her to what she wanted and was looking for, and then just seeing her like feel so much more confident and comfortable, it was just like a really cool thing for me to see. Even though this was just an in-between job, I really like that part of getting to know people one-on-one. And it wasn't really great, like the pay was not great or good at all, but it was just sort of like an in-between thing for me, for something like having something to do. It was like commission based and hourly hourly based. And sorry, I got a little message. I was really great at sales there, and actually anywhere else I am super good at sales, but mostly because I will find a need, like I will listen to the concern, and if there is something wherever I'm working that matches that need or concern, I will then recommend that because I really believe in it, and that sells. So my sales usually were super good, one of the highest on most days, if not the highest on most days, but mostly because I really believed, and then I saw people like really see the value in what I was suggesting. So yeah, that's a really great one, and it's one of the stores that has one of like the largest ranges of sizes. But there are other specialty stores for, I forget the highest size we had in that store. I want to say triple G was maybe the highest. I don't remember H, but there are specialty stores out there that have those sizes, or even for the smallest, I think there was like an a 32A, I want to say, or was it 32B? I don't remember, but that was the smallest size we had. But I really liked, even for like smaller, like 32A, there's a lot of like push-ups, but I really like that it had the push-up at the bottom, but it also had like a little push-up cushion at the top, because a lot of times for smaller sizes it would push up, but then it would open up on the top, if that makes sense. So with a little cushion that would make it like flat against you, and then your shirt, there wasn't like a gap that would be open. That was like a big one that a lot of people really liked for smaller sizes. For larger sizes, just being comfortable and having that support on your back, people were just really happy with that I saw. And then if I couldn't fit somebody that with what we had at that store, I would then send them off to other specialty stores that were totally unrelated to the store, but I just was so committed and so wanting to help that I was like, try this store, this is the address, go find, you know, like different places and stuff like that, because I really wanted them to feel good and comfortable and have that support, because to me it just made a huge difference to to know what it felt like to be in a little bit of pain, and then just, you know, like being comfortable. What else? Let's see, I have that. Another really great point to make is, I wrote down, is don't care about the size, because I found out that many different stores have different sizes, like measured in different sizes. I think it has to do with their measuring tape. I know that like a person could be the same exact size. A person can be two different sizes in two different stores. So what I saw a lot was people going into the store and they would measure, most of the time, a few cups more than what they thought they were. That happened to me. And some people would be upset. They didn't want to be a different cup. They were like, no, especially a larger cup. Which is funny because like on the media or different places you see all these like push-up bras on like marketing and whatnot, and it's actually what I saw from my experience. It was the other way around, people just wanting to minimize, not wanting to be a different cup. And so sometimes it would just take a little bit of convincing of like, please don't look at the number, as long as you are comfortable and confident in it and you like the way it looks under like under your clothes, basically, because I would bring them different shirts so that they could see what it would feel like. But the last point, or the last thing that I want to mention, is just basically walk you through what an appointment would look like. So you can call and make an appointment to measure you, or you could just walk in. A lot of times people would just walk in and be like, could you measure me? And a bra specialist takes you to the dressing rooms and you go in there. I would ask the customer to go ahead and remove their shirt so I can properly measure them, and there was a very specific way of doing it so I could get their right size, and that it would fit comfortably everywhere. And what else? Sometimes people just felt so comfortable and they would take off everything, like their bra and their shirt, and that's the way they wanted me to measure them. Usually this was just, I don't know, like older ladies. They were just so comfortable that were like, I just want to take everything off. So that was completely fine. Or people sometimes definitely felt uncomfortable and didn't. But I had a way of, especially working as an esthetician before this job, of making people feel comfortable and just doing my best to have them just, you know, feel as comfortable as possible. But yeah, so then I would measure them, and then I just ask them to wait in the dressing room while I go get a bunch of different ones that I like, listening to their concerns, and a bunch of different ones that would match that. And then I would get a bunch of different styles of shirts so that they could see what the shirts look like. And that's pretty much it. I have had a lot of different type of jobs, so I feel like this series is just, you know, I'm gonna have a lot of them to come back to and say stories. But yeah, mostly I like helping people feel comfortable and confident. And if you've never been fitted, because before this job I had never been fitted in my life, I recommend that you do, because you might be surprised on how much more comfortable you can feel. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you next Wednesday, and yeah, see you soon. Bye.